Greetings all, Mighty Jabali here, reggae recording artist. We're living in a time when something or someone or some people is affecting all of us. The only thing that we can do at this time in what they call a pandemic is to protect ourselves and be safe. I'm here today to talk about the Heritage Reggae Festival. The festival is a music festival of the authentic roots reggae music. So we are trying to expose the real authentic sounds and vocals, and at the same time our goal is to preserve this real authentic sound. One of the things that has been happening in the music and the roots music in Jamaica is it has gotten to a stage where the real roots in some ways is a bit dormant, and people have been depending on some of the songs and some of the music from the past. But we have not been seeing a lot of new material. And this is what this festival is about. The root of the music is where the truth is. And the truth is in the root because the root comes from the seed. And the seed is the people. Now, when the people express themselves, which is the seed, it is the duty of the root to bring forward the expression in the form of a plant. When that plant comes to the surface, this is when it gets exposed. And it is exposed to all kind of corruption and other things. Now, in our case here in Jamaica, in terms of the roots reggae music, the corruption comes from the other style and other types of music that have attached themselves to the root or attach themselves to the plant. In the plant where they call that engrafted. So that engrafted music is creating all kind of havocs because it is giving a sort of expression that is not coming from the root. It's not coming from the people. So when you listen to a dancehall song, and I'm just picking on dancehall right now, and you hear a man talking about girl under me and this and whatever, and that sort of thing, that kind of thing is not necessarily what the people want to hear or what the people want to be expressed. Because our music, in terms of the roots music, in terms of the black music and the music, it is a music that comes from the soul. And anything that comes from the soul is spiritual. An example is we go back to Harriet Tubman, when she were leading the people through the rivers, to get freedom for the people from the slavery days. And this song came up out of that experience, Wade in the Water. And if you listen to the song and listen to the words of the song, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Because these people are going through the water, and behind them were these men with dogs searching for them. And they were humming this song, going through the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God gonna trouble that water. So this is where the soul of the music comes from. And the Americans now will tell you where that went. In our situation here in Jamaica, in the same period, we used to have the slaves on the sugar plantations. And they developed their own style of coping with the situation that they were dealing with. One of the songs that came out of that is Fireman O, where the slaves were responsible for cooking the sugar. And these big pots that they pour the syrup into. And underneath it, one man was in charge of the fire. And then top, another man was on top in charge of stirring. And he would be shouting down to the man below, they call him the fireman, to push more wood under the fire to get the fire stronger, to get the sugar to a boil so that it could be cooked to the levels it needs to be cooked, to be crystallized into sugar later on. And the song that came out of that, folk song, fireman oh, fireman oh, do me man oh, and the fireman a bottom oh, fireman oh, fireman oh, do me man oh, and the fireman a bottom oh, burn close, burn close, burn close, burn close. One hand for me, one hand for you. One hand for me, one hand for you. Fireman oh, fireman oh, do me man oh, and the fireman a bottom oh. So that is where the soul of the music is. And the soul comes from the experiences, and the experiences of the people is now expressed. This is why we want to preserve that root. So coming forward now to the days of Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and people like Burning Spear, we are from those days been living in a period of, very poor living conditions of the people, very poor, all kind of different situations. And the music used to express what was happening in those days. And coming forward into today, not much has changed. But there's not much of the expression, the voice of the people, which is the music. Because Bob, Peter Tosh, and Burning Spear listen to what people are saying and then use that to bring across a message of hope and a voice for the people who are supposed to be listening, or who should be listening, to hear what the people are saying. But what is happening to us today is that the corruption of the plant, the corruption of the tree, with the engrafting of different kinds of sounds and different kinds of music, it is killing the soul of the music. And the soul of the music is killing the voice of the people. Killing, but when you kill the soul. So we want to bring back that kind of authentic sound, authentic vocals, authentic writing. And when it's authentic writing, it's authentic because, as a songwriter, when you write what the people are saying, you're coming from the heart of the people and taking that and put it into words. I was saying to somebody that I was going up to half a tree in a bus one day, and I heard a man across the road cussing to himself. And he was saying, we're not suing yourself, we're not suing yourself, And right there in the bus, I started writing some of the things that man was saying. And got a melody right away. And it became a song by the time I got back to the studio. We don't see you yourself, we don't see you yourself, we don't see you yourself, wipe your mirror faces. Just like that. So this is what the music does, was to pick up from the people what was in their heart. And that spiritual transformation from what the people were saying into the music. was what we were accustomed to. But today what we're getting is not much of that. So in preserving the roots and preserving that soul, we now begin to look now for people now who want to come together with us, and expose the kind of thoughts of the people. Like coming with my song today. I put out, I believe it was 5 songs on an EP in October 7th actually. Trench where we come from. And the title song, Trench where we come from, spoke to me growing up in Trenchtown and at age 19, seeing a lot of bulldozers coming into the community, knocking down the houses because they were living on captured government land. And we had to find ourselves somewhere else, relocate somewhere else. But 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, nobody said anything about it. So I just decided to put that song. That song is now on the most digital platforms. So the music is also a part of our history because it records events. And when you trace the music back to where the root is, you will find coming through the line some of the things that happened to the people that were expressed through the music. Not much of that is happening today. A new song that I've been doing in the Heritage Reggae Festival is Sell Off. And Sell Off is saying, Mess is the king, the world in crisis. Babylon must fall. To normalize it, eyes open when they're still sleeping. Wake up your minds, look what they're doing. That's one verse. The other verse came back. New policies, they might come with. New diseases, we can't deal with. Soldiers and police, they unleash them. Loading up the camp, increase the feed them. Then the next verse comes, them can't change the Rastaman focus. All when them come with them poison and virus. Lies and tricks, them no weary. Don't trust the words of them who greedy. And then the last verse goes on to say, the truth I speak, I'm a danger to society. Wait till them come, I'm losing identity. Rasta live through oppression and suppression. But make them come with them viral injections. Because we're not taking none. And we don't listen what they want to say or what they want to do. If we even have to go live in a bush, and they don't want to take a visa and they want to take this, Rasta, you know what they mean. So this is what the music does. And when the people listen to what the Rasta is saying, and the expression of the words that we're taking from the people. So we don't just take these things out of the ear and just come and sing them. Walking down East Queen Street, and a man said to me, Elder, where's the prosperity? Because the last election, they were talking about prosperity. And we're about the middle of this government period now, since they spoke about prosperity. And we're not seeing it. Where's the formula? So what I did, I get back to the street, start to call the people, calling, all the people involved. Babylon under pressure now. Rastafari see them walls falling. Because each time they have an election, they come with some brilliant, bright ideas. And then the next election, you hear them come this one now, building stronger, building this and building that. And I'm looking into them and looking into the whole thing and saying to myself, now, if you're going to build a building, there must be a foundation. You must start from the bottom. So if you're going to build strong, what are you building on? Before you come and tell me that you're going to build stronger, show me the foundation that you have. What you're going to build on. Don't see. And finally, and I'm just using my songs now, one of the songs that you will hear in the festival is Election Run. And we're talking about the music expressing the views of the people. The music recording the history of the things that affect the people. That's what we're talking about. And the song that you'll hear, that I want to talk about now, is Election Run. We just had an election a few days ago. And this song says, Election Run. Some of them had fun. Election Run. Disappointment for some. Silent protest. Silent protest. Silent protest. Silent protest. I might just do the chorus, but I want to do just a little talk about why the song came about. The election results showed that 63% of the voting population did not vote. And the 37% who voted, just a little over 20%, voted for the government that is now ruling. Which means that if 50% of the 37% who did not vote for this government, then approximately 80% of the population is against this government. The 63% who did not vote, they have not voted because them just never seen nobody to vote for. Them don't want JLP and them don't want PNP. There was no other choice, so they decided to just abstain. So this song is saying, how can you be celebrating victory in an election and talking about a landslide victory when you have 63% of the population who did not vote? Huh? Where is that? These are the questions these songs are asking. And as a Rastafarian, I have to bring forward what the people are saying, because the people, by not voting, is protesting silently. So the song goes, election run, some of them had fun, oh yeah, election run, disappointment for some, ooh, silent protest, silent protest, silent protest, silent protest, oh yeah, hey. Celebrating victory in an election, people will no vote, they no get no mention. 63% no go no polling station, that is a majority people rejection. Election run, some of them had fun, oh yeah. Election run, disappointment for some, ooh. Silent protest, silent protest, silent protest, silent protest. Give thanks all. Blessings, Rastafari.